Okay, so I want to tell a story about how yoga saved my life. Literally, yoga saved my life. Yoga saved my life. That is like my church. That is like my saint, my savior. No offense. And anyone can believe anything that they want. Everyone has that right. I'm just using that. And if you disagree, that's okay. It's okay. You don't have to agree with me. I'm not going to be mad at you. So, when I was in my early 20s, I met someone randomly in a park, super random. And at the time, I was really struggling a lot. Like I was living in New York City, and I was living in New York City. I was sleeping on a friend's bed. I'm trying to remember exactly. I was staying with my friend. I was sleeping in his bed, and he was staying with his boyfriend. What a good person. What a good friend he was. And man, it's really weird to talk about. I had no one to call. I didn't have that much. I had like $400 in my pocket. I literally moved to New York City multiple times with like $400. That's crazy. That's to think about now. That's crazy. I had a like hiking backpack full of stuff. And I was in school in New York, so it like made sense. I always kept trying to go back to like get through school, but it was always so hard to get through school and work, which it always is. So I'm in New York. I had just gone to this bar in the East Village, and I was talking to this guy, and was I 21? I had just turned 21, I think. I think I had just turned 21. Or maybe I was 22. I don't know. Oh my God, this is hard to remember. That's crazy that it's been that long. So, I was still pretty young. And I remember going into this place and trying to convince him to give me a job. I don't know if I had an interview, I don't know what. As a bartender, and I had no experience at all. I had no idea what I was doing, blah, blah, blah. I guess he didn't give me the job. I don't remember exactly. Or maybe he told me to come back or something. And I was just trying to convince him, because like I could convince people of so much. I could convince people, and I can like sell them on me, because I'm like very, I don't know why. You can decide that for yourself. So I went in, and I was like, I had applied to so many places. Oh my God, I had applied to so many places. I just walked in, I gave out tons of resumes. At that time, we didn't use LinkedIn. I don't even know if I had an iPhone yet. Oh my God, I think I did, but it was pretty new. Did I have an iPhone? I think it was pretty new. Let me think of like the things I was listening to. I was listening to like the XX and the Avett Brothers, and like what else was I listening to? Those are big ones. So I remember I had long red hair. None of this matters. I had long red hair at the time. I remember the bag that I was carrying, this like leather satchel that was really cool. And I was feeling so like really helpless. Words that come up are like helpless, defeated, like really, like I had no one. I remember calling my dad on the phone in the middle of the financial, no, it wasn't the financial district. It was in the middle of Midtown Manhattan, like near 50 something and like 5th or 6th or something. And I was just screaming at him, just like for no reason. I mean, he was like a good parent because he couldn't help me financially, but that wasn't his fault. And that had just happened, okay? And so I was trying to get a job everywhere. I was just like trying. And at that time, I was still so young. I didn't really have any confidence in who I was. Like, I was afraid to talk to people. I was afraid to like, I thought like this place is too good for me, or like I'm not good enough for this. Like, you know, whereas now I wouldn't really think that, but you kind of get what I'm saying. So I don't know when that changes. That changes at some age. I don't know. I think it changed for me like in my late 20s, but it's kind of cool to see that I've gotten past that, and you will too at some point. So, story time with Alicia. I was in, what is that really famous park? I actually don't remember the exact park, but it's in Alphabet City. And I was just sitting on the bench, like feeling kind of defeated, like, fuck, like, what am I gonna do now? Like, okay, I just tried to get this job. This guy's not hiring me. Like, okay, like, I wanted this job at this juice place. They never called me back. That was lame. And at the time, it's funny because I'm kind of like a pretty healthy gal now, but I wasn't like aware of food and like good health and like that kind of thing. I didn't understand those things. So if you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. If you don't, that's okay. So, okay, so then this guy walked up and I met him, and he like made a joke, and that was how I met him. That's how I met him. He looked cool. He was really tall, kind of handsome, really funny, like looked pretty put together, but also like, you know, like had some kind of spark. So anyways, this ended up being a person that I was in a very toxic, difficult long-term relationship with. A 3-year relationship who I moved across the country with and lived in multiple apartments with, multiple leases. We lived in 3 different places together. And yoga saved my life. It was a very toxic relationship for reasons that are so intense. I haven't thought about them or talked about them in so long. And the thing about these kinds of, like, I say abusive because to me it was abusive. And it was like, you know, there are different realms to the, you know, it wasn't like physical, but it was like mental. There was a lot. It was, let's just say toxic. Let's not say abusive because that's an intense word. It was very toxic. And so I used yoga, how yoga saved my life. I don't know how it happened. I guess I'm trying to remember exactly how it happened. Okay, this is how it happened. I was having a lot of pain in my neck and in my back. And I think it was from an injury that I had when I was really young on a roller coaster. And I had always had pain like even when I was in high school and whatnot, but I didn't want to tell my father because I didn't want to worry him because my mother had just died. So I started, I don't even know how I knew to do this. I guess I was just like, okay, I don't have insurance. I don't know what to do, but I'm in a lot of pain. I got to figure it out. And I remember at the time, my boyfriend, who was the one I met in the park, I had just started living with him. And I had these Beats headphones that were his, and I was like, oh my gosh, Beats. You know, back then, like, this was like almost 10 years ago, which is crazy. I had these Beats headphones, I put those babies on, and I just like, I don't even know, I wish I remembered the first day, I don't. I started stretching. And I just started stretching and stretching and stretching. And I was following, there were 3 videos that I would follow on YouTube. And it's funny that I'm burping. Why am I burping? I would follow these videos. Eventually, I came to follow them almost every day. Because at the time, remember, I wasn't working because I couldn't find a job. And he was a part of the, like, I'll help you find a job. I can help you. I can like, we can get you a good resume. Like, you're smart. We can get you a good job. What I didn't tell you was that, oh no, I was working. Okay. Someone helped me get a job at Marc Jacobs, at Marc by Marc Jacobs. It was a part-time seasonal position. And, okay. So this is funny to remember because I don't ever talk about it. And so I was laying on the floor doing yoga. And these were on my days off because because I just didn't eat healthy. I was so stressed. I was always stressed. I was so unhealthy, and lots of caffeine, just like lots of not good things for my body. So I'm gonna start yawning. I would follow these 3 videos. Eventually, I started doing this every single day. And basically, the short story is I continued doing them. And I got really, really, really into it. Like, way into it. Like, I would do it religiously. And it was the only thing that helped me deal with the difficulty of being in that relationship. Which, at the time, I couldn't see my way out because I felt stuck, because I didn't think I could make enough money because I was so young. And which I could have done it, but it would have been really hard. But I had the financial security, and it was helpful. He was helpful. He was good in ways too. But I think it was just that I was so young. Like, I didn't have the experience. And I eventually, to deal with the intensity of that relationship, would just keep doing yoga. I would go to yoga classes as much as I could. And what eventually happened, I just said eventually like 8 times. I'm so thirsty too. I need to get a drink. Okay. So, yeah, I know water bottles aren't good, I know. But, oh well. Okay, so, it's like hard to tell it because it was so intense, and I forget that it was a part of my life. So I would go to yoga classes as much as I could. And that was my escape. That was my way to get out of the house. That was my safe zone. That was the way to be strong. It cleansed, I was gonna say cleansed my mind. It did help cleanse my mind. And it was this weird thing, like the more spiritually awake and like the more in touch with my body I became, it's almost like the further away he went, the further away he was. So that was hard because naturally you want someone to encourage you to keep doing things that make you feel good, right? And at the time, I had decided to start massage school when I was in massage school. So I was having these incredible spiritual, physical changes in my body. And I was going through these things that I had no one to talk about. At this time, no one, like, yoga was not popular. Like, I couldn't even find, like, bras that, like, were, like, for yogis that were, like, breathable. Like, that's a big thing if you know what I'm talking about, if you do yoga. Because, like, I couldn't find clothing to wear that, like, fit right. I don't know. There was, like, athletic wear didn't exist. Like, this is so weird. And this wasn't that long ago. So I would go to these classes and I would go to, so I guess this is actually a long story. So maybe I should tell it in like multiple, I don't really know what to do because I'm not used to videos. How yoga changed my life. Do I make it a small video or do I keep going? What do I do? So there's a lot more to unpack in this, like little sequences to unpack. I would say that the body holds the key. Your body holds the key, is your key, is your gateway to everything, to absolutely everything. The body is absolutely capable of incredible things that we've never been taught about, that we are not taught about. And going through all of that while dealing with such intense sadness and in a, like, I want to say abuse, but that's not right, but just, I mean, it was, I guess, in a certain way. To me, in a certain way, it was such toxicity, and I really was in a lot of pain, and I really was stuck because I didn't have anywhere to go. I didn't have anywhere to call. Like, my family didn't understand how bad it was. They had no idea. They didn't understand. This was a long time. I couldn't just leave. I didn't have enough to just leave. I was just trying to get through massage school. So eventually I got through massage school, a bunch of stories later. And thankfully, that was my path. And that has been my path for a long time now. But that's a different story. So yoga changed my life because I almost want to cry. It gave me incredible awareness of myself and an incredible amount of confidence and contentment in my body, which is what I needed, because it was this rubber band. Like, when you're stressed out, your body gets so tense, you know, when your shoulders you're so tense. And your muscle, you can literally unwind that by stretching them, by holding them in certain positions, you can release that. That is how the muscles function. So that is a very simple story, but I highly recommend yoga for everything. For everything, for everything. The amount of clients that I have recommended yoga to, for everything. And it's not for everyone. It's not for everyone, and everyone's path is different, you know? But what I would say is that you don't need anything to sit down with your body and discover what it holds, you know? You have to learn how you work, how you function physically to truly release mental blockages, to release trauma and sadness and grief. So many years of grief and sadness. My mother died when I was very young. A lot of grief, a lot of pain, a lot of sadness, lost loves. People that I loved that I couldn't be with. I had to sit with myself in silence and in movement. And somehow, I don't know how these things work. I don't know how they work, but they work, and I can only share my experience. All I know is that yoga changed my life. And I don't practice it as much as I used to, but the body does not forget. And my experience is that you go through waves, just like I was talking about. I don't know if that's in the same clip. But just sit down and start moving. Just let yourself just lay on the ground. Clean the ground wherever you are. Clean the floor wherever you are. If you don't have a clean floor or a safe place at home, go to a park, go to the beach, go somewhere that you feel comfortable and put a blanket down and whatever, and just stretch. Go to the gym. Go wherever you can go, where you can lay down and stretch. And give yourself a second. Just do that, because it will release a crazy amount of pain and all these emotions you're not even prepared for. And I'm sure, I wish I had someone like me to talk to about these things when I was that age. And that I even could look online and find that, okay, someone has been through the same kind of thing. So that's a brief video on how yoga changed my life. And when I say yoga, I mean stretching. I mean stretching my body in silence, stretching my body, sometimes laying with my body. That's it. That's it. So heed the advice. I don't know if, or maybe that's not the correct way to say that word. If it's not, oh well, but you understand what I'm saying. It can truly, it is absolutely an incredible gift. Your body is an incredible gift that has been given to you in this life. And okay, that's it. Okay, thank you.